Good morning. We're up here in the cabin room this morning, and we got to start another project that needs to get done that I've been kind of putting off. We're getting to the part of the list of the projects that need to get done, and the ones that I'm not really 100% sure of how I'm going to tackle them, I've been putting off. So we have the floor here in the cabin room, and then we also have the floor here in this room that we need to remove. The cabin room floor is just very wonky when you walk on it. So is this one. This one's wavy. That one you can just kind of feel it. I think the boards aren't nailed in. After we got it up here, we were waiting for spray foam. We're in this bedroom, and this bedroom floor is very wavy. So I'm like, I'm gonna come downstairs, which looks nothing like it did at that time. And I started taking down the ceiling, and I found hand-hewn beams. And I found the floor in that bedroom is 2 layers of, I don't even think they're 1-inch thick boards. When we pull them up, we'll find out better, but they kind of looks like 1/2 inch, maybe 3/4 inch boards. And then there's another layer on top, but there's a gap. So it's not like 2 solid layers, if you see that. The cabin room is just as bad too. You got a really good gap in the floorboards. And it's just 2 layers of that, and they're probably really not nailed in to the beams. When I pulled up the floor down here, a lot of the boards weren't nailed. There was some, but not a lot. So I'm gonna say that a lot of these are not nailed in. But we wanna expose these beams because they're really cool hand-hewn beams. We have the hand-hewn beams, which are gonna be in the study, and then the hand-hewn beams that are going to be in the living room. And then the ones in the laundry room are probably gonna end up covering up, because I mean, it's a laundry room. I really don't think we're gonna want the exposed hand-hewn beams in the laundry room. Let me know what your thoughts are on that. Should we leave the beams exposed in the laundry room? But like, they had cut and notched a hole in that one for plumbing, or for heating, I should say. So if we expose the beams, you'll see that, and that's just kind of meh. I think it's just the laundry room. It might get kind of dusty, and they're just hand-hewn beams, so they're kind of rough. More stuff will get stuck on them. So that being said, we want to do this floor differently so we can see the floor and have it also be the ceiling and the floor, if that makes sense. So there's going to be some work to do here. And I've just been kind of scratching my head going, what's the best way to do this? I'm not 100% sure. And when I get like that, I usually put those jobs off. So I put them off long enough. Now we need to start taking out the floor. I think we're going to start in the cabin room first, get this floor out, and then we'll get out the other floor. You know what they say, there's nothing to it but to do it. So this wall needs to come out because it's sitting on the floor. Not very well, but it is sitting on the floor. Same with this wall. This wall is sitting on the floor. I don't even think it's sitting on the beam. I think it's just like right on the edge of the beam. So that means this wall also needs to come out because this wall is sitting on the floor, which goes to, I think, here. This wall right here sits on the new floor. This wall sits on the old floor. And we were hoping to save these walls and leave the wood, but that's gonna have to come out too. Hopefully we can save the wood and reuse it later on. Same with the floorboards. I'm hoping the top layer, at least in the cabin room, we can save these boards and reuse them in future projects, but we'll see how nasty they are. So first thing we gotta do is start taking this apart. It's kind of funny thinking back to different stages of demoing this house and what we thought we were gonna have to do and what we had to do. Yeah, like we covered up this floor because we thought we were gonna be able to save stuff, and it's probably a good thing because if we wanna be able to save some of these boards, at least they're not covered in spray foam dust. But we thought we were gonna get the spray foam done and then we would just redo the upstairs and it'd be ready to go. No. We found this big old gaping hole, so we gotta cover it up for now. All right, let's see what we can do.
There, I see what he's doing. He's making an awful lot of noise. I was gonna say, I wonder when they put that in if they said that's not going anywhere.
Watch your toes. I was hoping I could just get these boards to pull out from behind there, but we can't. I'm gonna have to cut them all back. Not the biggest deal, but just another step. The reason we did it this way is we were originally planning on leaving this wall and not having to take it down, but we gotta take it down. So now I gotta cut this all out. So I'll go grab the Sawzall and probably the oscillating tool and see which one works the best. There she goes. Well, that opens up that room quite a bit. Shoo. All right, I gotta put some temporary bracing up for like our collar ties that go into this room. The second wall supports them, so we are gonna have to build another wall back inside, but I gotta take down the old wall first because the old wall is on top of the floor and we need to get the floor out. All right. I really don't like walking on this floor now that I know what it's like, but we got to get this cut out and removed. It's not even sitting on the beam. It's just sitting on the floor. The beam's over here. It's kind of funny. Not one of them is on the beam. Now, this wall is just random 2-inch thick boards, random widths. So we got quite a few of them. So these need to come down. Just old boards. Those can come down. I think what we'll do is we'll run all of our strapping from this room all the way to that room in one piece, or in our sections. We're going to do 2x4 strapping because we have such a distance to span. So we're going to do 2x4 strapping. And we go all the way in, and then we can rebuild our walls here and there. I think that'll work out really slick if we strap the slant wall and the flat ceiling while we have all of these walls down. Then we can rebuild our walls a lot nicer afterwards. But we've got to continue taking more stuff apart before we can do that. Gentle. Good boy. All right, now we need to take this wall down, then we can start taking the floor out. Then I was just thinking, we gotta clean up everything below when we're taking this floor out, because this floor is pretty dirty and nasty. That area, we don't have much under it, but where I'm standing under this, we have a lot of stuff. And I just went, oh, we gotta move all of that out before we can take the floor out. That is a pain when you're at the stages of the house, when you get a bunch of tools inside, and then you gotta keep shuffling everything around. Yeah, not fun, but we'll do that after. Let's get this wall out, and then we'll work on this floor.
This room right here, originally, we weren't going to do a thing to it. Loved it, maybe paint the ceiling. We're going to take the rug out, change the floor, do nothing else. But now you can see that things have changed. We had different circumstances. It's going to end up being better than it was. But originally, we didn't think there was anything wrong with it. This room had a lot of poop in it. Our craft storage room is now going to be tore out so that we can make it better.
We gotta tear it out so we can make it better. That seems to be the strategy of the house.
Right. A lot of you might be thinking this is a beautiful floor. You should just take it, leave it, refinish it. But we've seen the stuff in this house. We're taking it out. It's holding stink. It's holding stuff. We're just getting rid of it and starting new. It hurts my heart, but it needs to be done.
Watch this.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's why it's coming out. The amount of filth that's under this layer is
Should I like come behind you with a vacuum or what?
Yeah, once I pull this out, you'll have to vacuum underneath it.
I tried to vacuum in the cracks, but it just wasn't coming out.
It's filthy under here. Cut it over here where it's splitting. I wonder if this is all mice pee right there. I wouldn't be surprised. Those last boards I'll get off from downstairs. I'll have to figure out how we want to end that up against the wall. These ones aren't even nailed.
Oh, stop. Oh my gosh. Don't be leaning on those.
Those are just sitting there. And the other boards were nailed through them. And that right there is one of the reasons why we're taking this all out. I bet you that's where we were still getting some stank from. Look at that. Gross. It all needs to go, unfortunately. But would you just look at those nice hand-hewn beams? Those are gonna be awesome. I wonder what's under this little board, or what it was ever used for.
Play a hole. What
Jonah?
was that?
Just a big old block of wood nailed there. Look at those nails. Them things are huge.
I'm keeping those.
What are you doing, Mr. Woodpecker? Where'd you go? So these 3 beams are in plane fairly nicely. There's a little ups and downs, which for being a hand-hewn beam, I can't complain about. But they're all pretty well. Little space, no big deal. But when you get to the last beam, you're probably an inch. That beam's an inch higher than these beams. So that beam had always had structure under it to keep it straight. These beams never did. They had a 2x6 every once in a while, but it was not really structural because there was no support under the floor for them either. So these beams have bowed, and it's been that way forever. So when they redid that room, they just shimmed up the floor. So if we try to push these beams back up, we're gonna mess that all up. And these have been that way for so long, they're not just gonna go up the way they need to go up just because it's old wood and it's got a good bow in it. So now I need to figure out the best way to level everything so that we can have a floor on this, and the floor can be our ceiling down below that we see. And then when we get to the next room, that room is going to have its own issues, which I think is pretty much the same. It's the last end wall area that is an issue. I have a couple of different ideas of how I want to transition our floor from the beams to this side, and different things to do, because these 3 beams are in plane with each other. They have a sag, which they're gonna stay with a sag, I'm pretty sure. But this beam does not have a sag because it's always been supported, where these beams have not. They're good, they're solid, they're rugged. When you're walking on them, there's no bounce. So I'm not worried about that part. I'm pretty sure they were put in green and just dried, bowed with the spans. So we have a few options, but I have some building consultants I need to refer to and figure out the best way to do it. So it's always good to have a few consultants in your back pocket so you can pull them out every once in a while and go from there. So I have to do that to figure out the best option here. And then we also need to figure out how we want to clean these up and finish these, because these are going to be exposed and be an accent piece to the house. And I have a few ideas, but there's a couple of things I need to get. So I'm going to go run out, get a few things, make some phone calls with our consultants to see how we want to do this. So this is where we're going to end this video. Thanks for coming along on our farmhouse renovation journeys with us, guys. We're excited. There's a lot of work here, but we are very excited to have all of the different accents and all of the different parts and pieces of an old 150-year-old farmhouse exposed. And it's just going to add more and more character to the house. And these hand-hewn beams are definitely part of that. So yeah, it was not fun taking down the walls, the floors, dealing with all the poop again, but it was a little slow of a process. We would take out one layer of board, vacuum and take out the layer under it to keep the mess up there and not down here. We did a pretty good job. We got a little messy down here, not too bad. But I want to get that floor figured out before we come over here, because this side's going to have its own challenges, but we're always up for a challenge. If we were building a new house, you don't have these challenges. This just makes it exciting, and you wouldn't have these 150-year-old hand-hewn beams in the house. There's lots of challenges to figure out, but we're up for them. So this is just one more on the list. We're going to get it figured out, and we'll be right back here in the next video. Catch you guys in the next one. We upload a new video every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. We'll see you back here. Bye.